Hey y'all, it's Kim. So I gotta go through all the Instagram memes and videos and the clips and stuff like that. Anyway, the Democrat Party is kind of like cuckoo right now, but anyway, let's check this out. So Anderson Cooper and Bernie Sanders. It says this is from Dave Rubin. It says the pandering hosts, the washed up socialists, and the they them. Let's see.
I want to introduce Grace Thomas. She's a local civil rights attorney. She's a Democrat. Grace?
They them pronouns, actually. Thank you.
Oh.
Good evening, Senator Sanders.
Did y'all hear that? The they them pronouns. They them. Okay. So how many people is this? What does that look like? Show me. Like what do y'all think? Is that a multitude of people? A plurality of people? Or is this just like some weirdo that's got multiple personalities? They them. To me, that represents, and this is what I put, they them implies a plurality of people. How many people? I said, how many people are residing in that nut's head? I mean, how many are there? And then somebody said this clip needs the Curb Your Enthusiasm credits. Liberal white women going insane is the real epidemic in this country. I fully believe that. It says after her, they them bit, the question answered itself. Let's see what her stupid question was anyway. And this is supposed to be an attorney. So tell me, would you want this nut representing you? Let's look.
Polling and turnout data indicate that men of all racial demographics are turning away from the Democratic Party.
I want to introduce Grace Thomas. She's a local civil rights.
Did you see his face? And I don't know if that's just because he couldn't hear what she was saying or he was just dumbfounded by what she said. So let's look at the next one. It says Trump wants a foreign leader to do something. Trump announces tariffs. Left claims tariffs won't work this time. Leader caves and Trump gets what he wants. So that's the flow chart in Trump's mentality. It says, God bless Trump and God bless America. Start your engines. The left is still spinning this negatively. They are saying Trump caved. Who cares what the party of mental illness, I think they mean, who cares what the party of mental illness says? Liberals are cocoa for Cocoa Puffs. Or cuckoo for Cuckoo Puffs. Cocoa, I don't know, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Whatever. I got it all mixed up. It says, yep, just as he planned. The left don't care if the country collapses as long as they're in power and lining their own pockets. And their zombie followers readily, eagerly eat the bull crap they're peddling. Yes. And then bingo, easy peasy. The Chad diagram. I guess a Chad is supposed to be like a super masculine dude, a toxic masculinity dude. I don't know. Who cares? It says the left is never right about anything ever in the art of the deal. All right, so let's move on. So Trump is undoing everything we've accomplished. And this says, yeah, that's the whole point. It says President Trump is draining the swamp. So happy President Trump is president in charge now. We finally have a president who always puts America first and loves America. Elon Musk and President Trump use their own money. Democrats always ask for money. And now we just have to undo Obamacare because I think it's the worst thing that's ever happened as far as the insurance. Insurance was already kind of bad, but when you get the government involved, it gets even worse. Anyway, with all the subsidies and blah, 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 but whatever. Somebody else in economy or economics figured that out. And then it says winning, great. And then the person put the American flag. Let's move on.
Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi.
It says Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, they've been talking about tariffs for decades. Do you see the double standard? And Trump says, I love this guy, whoever the hell he is. And finally, we're starting to see some honest reporters. Let's read the comments and I'll see if I can start it back over. It says Trump does what everyone else talked about doing, and then they go after him for it. That's the double standard. Good thing is he doesn't care about negative headlines. Tariffs are one step closer to MAGA. It says all the instant stock experts who screamed that the sky was falling just saw the largest jump in the stock market in a single day in 5 years. Liberals, how many, how many Trump hating bullshit, fear mongering lies do you have to be sold before you realize you've been duped? Y'all cannot be that stupid. And then balls of steel, I'm glad I voted for him. And then finally, someone is asking the right questions. Let's see if we can get this to replay. Okay, so basically, this reporter is asking him about how Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi talked about it in some of their like Senate floor meetings or whatever. And Trump basically says, I love this guy, whoever the hell he is. Why is it not playing? Sorry, it's not playing for some reason. And maybe I didn't hit
Nancy
this.
Everybody knew you had to do it, but they never had the guts to do it. It does take guts. It even takes guts for our country to go through it. That's why I say be cool. They were saying about, just be cool. It's going to work out. It's going to work out, and it's working out. I can tell you, working out maybe faster than I thought. But I said it's going to take a little conditioning. It's a transition to. It's really, I think it's a transition to greatness. It's going to be greatness. Our country is going to be, there'll be nothing like it. And people investing in our country, they're going to do better than they've ever done before. We have more car manufacturers, Roger, coming into our country now. Speaking of cars, we've never seen anything.
Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, they've been talking about tariffs for decades. How come when these...
Well, anyway, it's just a double standard, obviously. They were talking about it. Biden even imposed some, I think they said in 2024. So now they want to do it. They want to oppose anything that Trump is trying to do to better America. They would rather see us fail, like they've said, than see us actually succeed. Anyway, it's just the craziest thing. I mean, they hate America that much that anything that Trump tries to do that might be good for America, they're just like, it's terrible. It's bad. The sky's falling. He's taking Social Security out, Medicaid, Medicare. Actually, Elon said that they were going to do, you're supposed to get more like Social Security or Medicaid or whatever. So I don't know. These people are just, they hate America. Damn communists. I can't stand it. Anyway, I'll keep moving. This says a millionaire who was broke just a few years ago speaks out against the wealthy lifestyle that she enjoys and pretends like she is talking about someone else. It's interesting that she describes herself and her supporters to a T and wants you to believe that she is poor, humble, informed, educated, and wants you to believe that she's a truth teller for the common person in America. Anything but the truth. Says a millionaire who was broke just a few years ago speaks out against the wealthy lifestyle. Okay, this repeated it for some reason. And she's the reason shampoo bottles have instructions. I think John Kennedy, the Senator John Kennedy, got in trouble for saying that. Maybe just in public opinion. I don't think really, because I think she's better than
traveling first class on a JetBlue flight last month. She was on her way to Las Vegas to speak at a Fight Oligarchy event with Senator Bernie Sanders. Events in which she has been railing against the wealthy elite.
We are witnessing an oligarchy in America. When those with the most economic, political, and technological power destroy the public good to enrich themselves.
Let's look up what an oligarchy is. Since we're going to bring the receipts on this channel, I mean, I don't think she knows what the hell an oligarchy is. Let's see. Okay, an oligarchy, a small group of people having control of a country, organization, or institution. Isn't that interesting? We have the president and his cabinet taking care of stuff, but we still have freedoms, dummies. Our rights aren't being taken away. I mean, what the hell? The only people trying to take our rights away would be like the censorship. So the First Amendment right, while Facebook was censoring people about COVID-19 and other stuff, any kind of misinformation, disinformation, malinformation. I mean, oh my gosh. No, the only people doing that is like the damn Democrats. They are the ones you consider an oligarchy if you want to go that route. Ugh, I just can't stand it. It's the double standards and the lies. Just let's move on.
It's always should be America first. And anybody that doesn't think that way, please tell me what the hell country you think you're going to take your wife and your kids to and your grandkids to. There is no other place in the world like America. I am red, white, and blue. I could care less whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. Just wake up and understand that we cannot stand to lose any more market share, and we better be tough on this one, or we turn our backs on the future. And I've got 10 grandchildren. They're relying on me to stand up. And hopefully other members of this committee will do the same thing. This is not about tearing Trump down. This is about building America up.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I don't understand all this stuff that they keep just going on about. Instead of coming up with solutions and trying to figure out a way to help Trump along, the Democrats are trying to sabotage him with lawfare and just this rhetoric where people are going out and protesting even Elon Musk companies because they don't like Trump. It's like, come on. You're either for America or you're against America. There's no other way around it. And these damn Democrats, especially like our congressmen and women, just fomenting violence. They say, oh, it's not supposed to be violent. It is going to be violent because you got these radical extremists out here that are nuts. And y'all are just keep spreading this crap of, oh, a Nazi, a Hitler, oligarchy, blah, 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 all these negative words. And all it's doing is just fostering that hatred and making people want to get worked up in a frenzy over something. They're not even trying to make anything good for America. I mean, just like that man said, we're in what 36 trillion in debt. They're like our kids, grandkids, great grandkids are going to be paying for that if we don't get something going with this economy and get things turned back around. I believe that the tariffs could work. They did it for a long time before 1913, and then the IRS or the tax code came into being. But I mean, geez, you got to try something new. And, I know if this doesn't work, I'm sure Trump's got another plan in place, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. Anyway, I don't know. I know the Democrats hate America. It's very obvious. I mean, they hate everything about the Western ways. That's why you got these extremists in here with the Marxists and the socialists and the communists. I mean, they hate America, but it's like we're the best country in the world. Like the man said, where are you going to take your kids and wife, if they even have such a thing? Because the left usually doesn't marry. They focus all of their attention on their nut job ideology. So to them, the future doesn't matter. They're just worried about right now. Anyway, but somebody that's got a vested interest, grandkids, hopefully one day great grandkids, they want what's best for America. People that don't have that, like JD Vance said that one time about the crazy cat ladies. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have children, you're just thinking about right now, what's best for me right now, not what's best for the country 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, whatever, however many years, 100 years in the future. You're not going to care about that because you're going to be dead and gone at some point, and it doesn't matter to you. But yeah, when you've got somebody that has future generations to look out for, it makes a big difference. Anyway, let me keep moving. It's one thing the pandemic has taught is that if America is ever attacked by actual invaders, the Democrats will join the enemy. Just like the men and the women's sports, the gang members that they're trying to get turned around and keep them back here in the bring them back here in the United States, all this illegal immigration stuff. They don't want people deported. It's like they hate America. And we just got to make sure we're educating ourselves on this. They do not care about America. And then right here says we have been invaded and they didn't join the enemy. Spot on. That's exactly what they did. It says that's sad and terrible. So true, so true. And then, wow, so true. It says actually, Democrats sadly are acting like the enemy of Americans. Exactly what I'm saying. I just don't understand why they want to destroy the U.S., because they also live here. Yeah, I mean, what's the point of hoping for the downfall of America? It's going to ruin it for you too. I mean, like somebody said before, you can basically vote your way into socialism, but you'd have to fight like hell to get out of communism because it's like it's almost a logical next step. You socialize everything, making people think, oh, we're doing this for the common good, for the community. Everything's good now. Everybody's equal. They're not going to be equal. You can't make everybody equal that way or this equity. Yeah, it's just like nuts. But that's what they would like to do. Anyway, anyway, if you look into the Communist Manifesto and the Marxist ideology, it's not good. It sounds good in theory because you're hoping everybody has this happiness because everybody's got the same amount of everything. But when you look at how they actually have to enforce it, like Stalin had to enforce it, like to usher in what do they call it? The collectivism in Russia. They actually had to take from the poor farmers, and those farmers wound up dying like from a famine because they didn't know what they were doing. So yeah, it works in theory, the idea of it, but when you try to put it into practice, it's not going to work. But I'm just one little person on the internet. I'm seeing things and observing things. Hello, that's why it says Kim's observations. I'm reading books on different topics, learning as much as I can from history, and I see how bad it can get. Anyway, whatever. Don't listen to me. I'm one person. If you don't believe it. One more comment. It says the Democrats are the enemy. They are trying to kill us and overthrow our duly elected president for a second time. They are trying for coup 2.0. And then, they are the enemy. Anyway, okay.
Throwing a Molotov cocktail at a Tesla, burning the battery hurts the environment?
I don't think that has done that much damage to the environment compared to what the Trump administration is doing to the environment. That is minuscule.
What do you think is the worst thing Elon Musk and his Doge team has done so far?
We don't really know what they've done in there, so I think that that's very dangerous that they're using their technological, all the technical stuff that they're doing computerized with computers and with the agencies.
Think throwing a Molotov cocktail.
So basically, the moment when Tesla protesters can't even explain what they're protesting against. Yeah. I mean, she doesn't even know what they're in there doing. I guess it's just going through all the different payment systems. Like Elon Musk said that a lot of them don't speak to each other, like the different groups. I guess the Federal Reserve is what actually sends out the money, but the Social Security system doesn't speak to it and say, oh, this person's passed, stop sending money. I mean, that's what he said when he was on the Fox interview with Brett Baer. But anyway, so this lady doesn't even know why she's there. Let's look at some more. Okay, here's another one. Elon Musk protester.
Old-faced criminal. If you or I had walked into the White House and done what he'd done, or walked into the Treasury and done that, we'd be in jail. He essentially organized a fascist coup of our federal government. He spent $250 million to get Trump into office, and now Trump is serving as his proxy, his puppet.
How's that different from like George Soros pumping millions into DAs and other political campaigns across America? How's that any different from what billionaire George Soros did?
Well, he did not promote the idea of slashing all of our federal benefits.
Would you just say that maybe the frustration here is that just because Trump is elected, that's why we're kind of upset at Elon, that because I haven't heard anything fascist in what you're saying. I mean, our kids are struggling here in Oregon. We have some of the worst school numbers, some of the worst test scores. It just came out, Fox 12 just reported that Oregon is falling behind the national average as far as economic boom and population decline. I mean, there's a lot of problems here in Oregon. I mean, are we not concerned about any of that?
Of course I'm concerned. How does electing an incompetent, insurrectionist, fascist idiot like Trump going to help that?
Well, Trump's not in charge of Oregon. What does that have to do with Oregon's problems, though? What does failing test scores with our kids have to do with Trump and everything? That comes from the Oregon Department of
3,
Education.
2, 1.
That comes from
Her head's gonna explode. She's gonna like probably lash out in anger. Let's look at and see what fascism is. Fascism. Let's see. So, fascism is a far-right, authoritarian, and ultranationalist political ideology and movement characterized by a dictatorial leader. I don't see Trump's face up there. It's got Stalin, Hitler. I don't know the other guy. That might be somebody from Spain. Mao, Mussolini, and I don't know the other guy there. Those other two at the end, I don't know who they are. Centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition, belief in a national social hierarchy, subordination of individual interests for the perceived good of the nation or race, and strong regimentation of society and economy. It's opposed to Marxism, democracy, anarchism, pluralism, free markets, egalitarianism, communism, liberalism, and socialism. Fascism is at the far right of traditional left-right spectrum. I mean, as far as I know, Trump is none of those things. I mean, we don't have a dictator. That laws still have to be, approved through Congress. Let's see, autocracy. Autocracy is a form of government in which absolute power is held by the head of state and government, known as an autocrat. We don't have that. Militarism is a belief for the desire of a government or a people that a state should maintain a strong military capability and to use it aggressively to expand national interests. I mean, every country does that, though, and or values. Forcible suppression of opposition. I think the Biden regime was actually the ones that was shutting down people on Facebook. Hello, Mark Zuckerberg came out and said that. So his belief in a natural social hierarchy. No, I don't believe that either. I don't see how Trump, I see Trump going out there shaking hands with everybody. I don't see anybody natural social hierarchy. Let's see what that means. Social stratification refers to a society's categorization of its people into groups. Oh, wait a minute. That sounds like what the Democrats have done. Social hierarchy. It says social stratification refers to a society's categorization of its people into groups based on socioeconomic factors like wealth, income, race, education, ethnicity, gender, occupation, social status, and derived power. It is a hierarchy within groups that ascribe them to different levels of privileges. Who does that sound like? So anyway, let's not even play the game of Trump's a fascist. They don't even know what the hell a fascist is. Let's see here. Let's move on. I'm tired. This lady is probably fixing to go ballistic on this guy.
Legislator. That comes from our governor. I mean, it's all one party rule kind of right now.
Okay, so you're trying to bring it all down to this granular level of specific tiny little issues. The issue here is we are losing our democracy right now.
Do you think protesting Trump and Musk is more important than what's going on here in Oregon and the failure of our leaders here?
Well, everything about what we have here in Oregon as free people is going to be jeopardized by the loss of our democracy at the federal level. So yeah.
Loss of democracy. Let's look and see what democracy is. Let's make sure we got the words right. As far as I know, we are a constitutional republic. And let's see, a democracy. So with its emphasis on notions of social contract and the collective will of all the voters, which Donald Trump won the popular vote, if we're going to use the word democracy, the collective will, which actually the collective will would be that everybody has to agree. We don't all agree. So we're not. Oh my gosh, we don't all agree. We're a constitutional republic, anyways. We have a representative republic where they actually go to Washington, whatever. We vote for people, but this says, with its emphasis on notions of social contract and the collective will of all the voters, democracy can also be categorized as a form of political collectivism. Collectivism. Let's look that word up in a second, because it is defined as a form of government in which all eligible citizens have an equal say in lawmaking. We don't have an equal say in lawmaking. We can like contact our representatives to make certain laws if something major comes along, I guess, but we don't have we don't have an equal say in the lawmaking. And then democracy is a form of government in which political power is vested in the people or the population of a state. Let's see here. Vested in the people or state. Okay, collectivism. The practice or principle of giving a group priority over each individual in it. So basically, you all are kind of working towards the same goal, is the way I think of that. So the church has criticized the great emphasis placed on individualism rather than collectivism. I can't see that. It says the theory and practice of the ownership of land and the means of production by the people or the state. The Russian Revolution decided to alter the course of modernity through collectivism. And that's where all of those peasants died, because of the collective, where they were collecting all the grain and the wheat and all that stuff just to keep, or the collective, the entire Russia. Whatever they call it, empire, I guess. I don't know what their government was called back then when Stalin was in charge, or Russian Federation, maybe. Anyway, those are some of the words that I vaguely remember hearing someone say. Anyway, let's keep going. Lady doesn't know what she's talking about. It says the job of the mainstream media today is to make you think that the views of 10% of the country are actually the views of 90%. Something else I was looking up. Let me see if I have it. I have all these tabs open. I think this is it. So this is something called either Project Mockingbird or Operation Mockingbird. I don't know which one. But I think Alex Jones was talking about it on the Tucker Carlson episode. And pretty much it's I guess basically where it says telephone tap of newspaper columnists. I think it's pretty much like where they start trying to infiltrate their way into the news media. And they were even saying on that episode this morning that that CNN was actually just like an arm of the CIA. I don't know how true that is, but I'm like, that's interesting. So somebody here says, you got confused. I know it's supposed to be confused. It says that's MAGA. That's MAGA you're talking about. The job of fascism is to make you believe media are telling lies and only the dictator tells the truth. But see, in a dictatorship, you don't have an actual news media. You had a propaganda minister like Joseph Goebbels. Let's look him up, shall we? Joseph Goebbels. Goebbels. Ah, dang it. That's not what I wanted. Sorry. I hit the wrong one. Joseph Goebbels. Paul Joseph Goebbels was a German Nazi politician and philologist. I don't even know how you say that. Philologist. I guess he loved it. Anyway, who was the Gauleiter, I don't know, of Berlin, and chief propagandist for the Nazi Party. As far as I know, they didn't have any kind of outside newspaper or anything else. It was all from the propaganda minister. So yeah. Okay. It says there's no trashier profession as the MSM. They've lost all credibility. It's a great source of propaganda though. Yeah, I mean, if they keep saying something long enough, people that are uninformed, oh, look at this stupid lady. It says woman keys a Rivian vehicle, mistaking it for a for a Tesla. And she works for something called, or she's got a shirt on for something called a stretch zone. I know here in Texas they've got several locations, so I don't know. Look at that crap. These are adults, y'all, doing this stuff. It says a viral video has surfaced showing a woman keying a Rivian vehicle, mistakenly believing it to be a Tesla. It's Rivian, known for its R1T pickup truck and R1S SUV, features a design that sets it apart from Tesla's electric models, leading to some surprise at the woman misidentified the vehicle. So the Rivian and Tesla brands are recognizable leaders in the electric vehicle market, yet their designs and features are notably different, making the mistake particularly noteworthy in the ongoing conversation about electric vehicle adoption. Internet, make her famous and find out who she is. That's what I put on there. It says sorority sister, affirmative action, graduate, Department of Education, working as design. Let's look and see if we can. So I want to look at the different. So Tesla symbol. So pretty much it's like this, but it's silver on the front of the car, right? And then let's look at the Rivian. It's like, doesn't even like, let's see the symbol. Oh, yeah, it's totally different. And if it says Rivian on him, why would you do? Why would you go? First of all, why are you tearing up somebody else's stuff? That is not yours. Don't touch it. You're an adult. You can control yourself. If she looks old enough, what a horrible person. I hope she gets fined for that and goes to jail. Oh, that's horrible. Anyway, I got so many more videos on here. I'm gonna come back and have to do some more later because these people are just like ridiculous. But I'll be back. I'll talk to y'all. Like, share, and subscribe. See y'all. Bye.